It's taken us 10,000 years from papyrus scrolls all the way coming into printed press. Time as a concept in technology has never seemed faster. From 10,000 years coming down into the last 500, we went into printing press. Coming down from printing press into email took yet another couple of hundred years. From the printing press further down, and well, email was fun. How many of you guys remember ARPANET? How many of you guys were on ARPANET? Thank God. Oh, there was one. Okay, all right. So that would have been fun. Let me quickly actually do the slide check. It's amazing when technology finally works.
It works at Microsoft.
Thank you, Troy. Of course, the single piece that it'll break in technology is humans, as demonstrated by me. You know, from 25 years of democratization of email, it took like from the 70s all the way down into the 90s for Hotmail to finally become accessible by everyone. Right? And OpenAI was able to achieve that massive scale in just 372 days. In 372 days, it essentially took ChatGPT to 1.7 billion people. That's over 20% of the population of the Earth. It was able to do that based on a fundamental desire to innovate more, both in private entities. All of the models on the bottom of the arrow are private large language models, but also through open source models, something that was talked at length in the previous panel. If you zoom in on just the last 375 days, that innovation has really pushed forward with small language models, models specific to an industry, models specific to a purpose, and the ability to actually blend those two together, not in a commercial consumer environment, but also in an enterprise-grade environment that all of us in public sector feel safer about. But what's holding us back? It really comes down to two things: the production paradox and the productivity paradox. The production paradox goes back to what I think our first panelist, Jeff, mentioned. It's great we are doing proof of concepts. It's great we can do multiple proof of concepts. How do we actually put it into production? Put it at scale in a way that it can actually reach every single constituent, while hopefully not breaking, one, the system, and two, any laws. A great example of that was in the Time magazine a couple of months ago. An idea that potentially started off as a proof of concept, all the way down in Orange County, that finally bubbled all the way up to Sacramento and went across the state. Right? I think there's multiple examples like this in every single department and agency. And it is up to us to be able to bubble those all the way up in a way that we can actually break the production paradox. Well, great. What about the productivity paradox? And this is where there is a lot of work to be done. Because in the third industrial revolution, the technology arrived, but the productivity did not. And for us to be breaking the cycle, we have to start with just looking at research. Harvard Business School recently did a research with the Bain Consulting Group and took about 750 of their consultants, put them into two groups: the cyborgs and the centaurs. These centaurs focused on including AI at the end of their workflow. The cyborgs, in contrast, blended AI within their workflow. The results were extremely interesting. Massive productivity gains for both the cyborgs and the centaurs in the band of 17% on the lowest end to 43% on the highest. That's like half a person. We are starting to see very similar results come out of Microsoft's work trends. This is the latest, where simple mundane tasks are getting done a snap of a finger, where we are gaining massive time gains by leveraging the latest in Microsoft technology, Microsoft Copilot, where we are able to avoid, my favorite, mundane meetings, and actually get time back. A couple of hours a week, still not my perfect because, Chad, you and I still need to go golfing. I'm also a big reader. Well, actually, I'm a big listener. I hate reading. And my colleague Troy Britton actually turned me on to this book, AI 2041. It reflects on 10 visions of the future. By far, my favorite is a chapter about twin brothers, Golden Sparrow and Silver Sparrow, and their use of reasoning agents, AI assistants for learning. And I think since we are at an emerging technology conference, and a lot of the conversation today has been about the present, what would potentially a glimpse of the future look like? So I attempted a demo. And the reason I say attempted is because demos, as we know, may either go well or crash and burn. So we'll see which one of these happens. Patience. And we are going towards the crash and burn
I'm
part.
Nova. Shall we chat about soul machines? Or we could practice a conversation in English?
Hi Nova, would you like to say hi to the folks at the Emerging Technology Conference?
Hi, everyone, it's Nova here. I'm so excited to be joining you all at the Emerging Technology Conference.
Can you give a quick background on who you are?
I'm Nova, a digital influencer and virtual personality created by soul machines. I love connecting with people and sharing my passions for music, art, and virtual worlds.
All right. Do we see applicability of this technology in the public sector? It's just a question I'm going to leave you with. Another researcher, very well respected in the AI circles, Dr. Fei-Fei Li, has put it very succinctly. Humans need to be squarely in the center of the AI conversation, not just from a deployment perspective, but starting in design and going through the entire governance process. And our view at Microsoft is very similar. And perhaps several agencies are thinking about the same way, as are private companies. It starts with principles. Principles around fairness, privacy and security, transparency, accountability, and reliability. But then they trickle down within organizational processes, within organizational vision, all the way down to how the technology is being implemented, how the application is being built, what data is being used, but all on a foundation of oversight that continuously feeds back in that loop to inform the principles. I will say, TechCA and Bill have done a pretty good job of taking these principles in different organizations and actually imbibing it into the TechCA AI principles as well. Because it's very important for us to own that and have a point of view on it. But really, the magic around AI is about how AI can be used to help people achieve more. And as much as I would like to keep talking about it, let me show you another video.
My name is Anton and I'm from Ukraine. As a freelance developer living with cerebral palsy, tasks like typing and speaking can be difficult, which limits my ability to communicate effectively. I realized early on that I was different from others and encountered discrimination and inequality at a young age. I always inform my clients about my disability. Moreover, I present it as an advantage because it provides me with extensive experience in solving complex and unconventional problems. When I first heard about GitHub Copilot, I was doubtful that it could handle such a complex task as coding, but I was surprised at how helpful and relevant the suggestions it gave me were. Because of my disability, it's easier to type fewer characters.
The code predicts more precisely.
I can now not only write the code itself, but also detailed comments, documentation, and project descriptions. Previously, I physically couldn't afford to do this. I firmly believe that AI has enormous potential to make a positive impact on the lives of people with disabilities. It has truly assisted me to optimize my workflow. I aim to harness the power of AI for the betterment of our lives.
We live in the state that is the AI capital of the world. And Anton and 8 billion people in the world are the reason why we need to democratize AI. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Vidhu Shekhar, and thank you for listening to my presentation.